All right. I don't know why it has started recording again, a tiny miniature block in the middle of the recording. So when you rewatch it, I'm just a miniature little block on a big black screen. But you guys that get it live, you get a full screen Robin. So you're good. Okay, so I hate to sound repetitive, and I hope that I don't this week sound repetitive. But I just keep thinking, and every day I kind of write down some notes that I see in the team page, things that I might see across the board with other people and in other team pages, and things that I see that maybe we just need to discuss on, or that I feel are questions that continue to come up. And I don't think it's ever too much to always reiterate refreshing your business, and basically every 90 days, like really change things up, do what you can to keep your business really strong, because the business changes that often. Sometimes it changes from day to day. And this is a little bit like last week we talked a lot about, which I finally posted the video. It took so long for it to be ready to post. It's not going up on my YouTube because we talked about a lot of really hard topics, right? But we really talked about why people are quitting, why people are staying, what's the expectations of everything. Now I want to really go in deep with how to continue to find the success in your business that you want, and how we've been able to do that. And that's continuing to refresh and try something new. And so I've shared with you guys this path to success, Team Diamond's path to success. I probably need to type it out a little bit differently, but I feel it's the things that we felt and we kind of sat down together that worked for us, and that we felt was something that could be taught to anyone, and that if anyone took it and ran with it, that it could help to bring success. Doesn't mean that you'll get the same success we're having, but it will help to bring some sort of success in the business.
Yeah. So there are a lot of different styles of working that people have, and for us, when we were from the very get-go, when we would ask people, like, what is it that you're doing, everything that they were saying wasn't really necessarily something that could be duplicated, something that someone else could take and then make their own. But I really feel like there's not really anything extraordinary about what we do, nothing that everybody wouldn't be capable of doing. And to take what we do and then make it their own. Like, those are all things that we wanted to have these stipulations for what we would deem something that would help someone in this company be successful.
So we're going to go over these items that we feel will help build your success in this business. And it's easier to look at your business on a 90-day path or a 30-day path to kind of see where your starting point and your end point is, and to see where maybe sometimes in the beginning, a month is an easy, more attainable way of seeing the success in your business, right? A week can be hard because you can have really bad weeks and you can have really great weeks. And even a month sometimes can be really hard, because right now is a very hard time for retail sales. Everyone is out on vacation, and June and July are hard retail months. But is it possible to still bring in the success that you need? Yes. It's just that right now we're working almost 3 times as harder to gain the same success that we were getting, in February or January. And whether that's the change in customers or the change in the business or the change in just the months, I don't know exactly. But I do know across the board, everyone is June and July are really hard, slow months. And so you have to really be creative with that. And if you look at it in those time frames, you can see where you started, where you were in the middle, and where you are at the end, and what you could have changed, what you maybe could have added, or what you could have not done to help add to that success or not. So I feel it's my obligation to continue to teach that your success is your own. You've heard me say that a bazillion times. You guys should get, like, if you got a penny for every time you said that, you probably have $1. But it is your own, and it's not something that you can compare to anyone else's, even if that person lives next door to you, because everyone knows different people. Everyone has different connections. Everyone is going to approach someone differently. Everyone's going to run their business differently. Even if you think online, you can see that you might be running it exactly like someone else. There's something else that's going on that is who they are, and that you have to tune into who you are and let that become part of your business. So I'm going to go through and talk about every 90 days throughout this. Like, we're going to try to keep it short so we can keep us to end at 2:30, like, the original training said. And I apologize again for that, but more than likely we'll probably go over a little bit, but I want to focus on revamping your business every 90 days. And it's not because LuLaRoe has the 72-hour game plan every 90 days. It's because I feel in my business, it's been easier to see a quarter of the year, to see that it's a quarter of the year, right? To see where my success is and where my sales are, so that I don't get down about one bad day or one bad week. So I can see what kind of success I'm getting through those 3 months, what I could have changed, what I was doing too much of, and what I wasn't doing enough of. And so that's why we're going to go through this path of success. And some of these things are something you can do every day. Some of these things you need to kind of revamp every 90 days or every 30 days. And another reason why we say 90 or 30 days is because you need to give something time to grow and be part of your business. If you do an online hostess once and it was a flop, that does not mean that online hostesses don't work for you. That means you tried it once and it didn't work that one time. You need to give it more time to continue to find success, because not every hostess, they're not all equal. Some are great, and some friends are great, and some are not. And so you have to give it time, let it grow. You're basically planting this new idea and this new seed in your business, and you need to nourish it, and you need to allow it to kind of grow into something. And if it grows into something that you don't necessarily like in your business, then change it, trim it, change something up about it. But until then, make sure that you give it time. Okay. So if you just try to get hostesses one day and you didn't find any, that doesn't mean you're a failure. That just means that one day wasn't a success. And in that aspect of your business, you just have to keep continuing to try. And some people are like, well, I don't have more. I've talked to everyone I know. And then the next thing that everyone knows is going to come out of my mouth is, then it's time to meet more people. It's time to get to vendor events. It's time to get out in the stores and meet people. It's not something that's not necessarily duplicatable for everyone, but sometimes there are legitimate reasons as to why maybe that won't work for you, right? I know people who have social anxiety. I have it myself, and you guys have watched me work through it. I know people who feel they cannot do that because of something that might be holding them back. I'm here to tell you that you can do it, and you might be deciding to not do it because it's scary, or I really don't know any reason that's a legitimate will not ever do it without the person actually in part of it deciding to just not do it because it's too hard and it's too uncomfortable. And I will say that if you are continuing to do the things that you've always been doing, you'll always get the same success. And so if you want to change it up, you got to get uncomfortable. You got to try new things. And you got to be able to be willing to change with the business and revamp. And so the number one thing that I always think about is, okay, that's big picture, right? That's 90-day stuff. Now let's get down to every day. You have got to do something every day for your business. And that sounds exhausting, but if you want this to be a full-time business, if you want this to help you to create amazing dreams for your family, then you need to do something every single day. And that includes marketing yourself. Marketing has been around for hundreds of years. It is so important to market the business, and you got to market smart. You got to market the right audiences on Facebook. You got to market to the right businesses locally. You got to market to the right groups that you want to market to, and also appropriately, right? I mean, there's an appropriate way to market, and there's a non-appropriate way. If you're in church and you're about to take sacrament, you probably shouldn't be marketing yourself. You can, but that's the image that you will be giving the world, is that that's what's a priority for you, and God would not be. And so if you want that to be a priority and the business to be a secondary, then there's an appropriate way to market. Okay. You have to, now marketing yourself can include your why. It can include your style. It can include outfits of the day. It can include live sale feeds. It can include live feeds of just showing what you're doing that day. It can include because of LuLaRoe posts. The whole point of marketing yourself is so that you show your customers who you are, and you show them that you're here. And so it's reaching out to those people who are local and those people who are your audience already within your friend areas online. Any add in for that?
I agree.
Just-
you are the chief marketing strategist for LuLaRoe Robin Blade, and I'm just the vocal conscience who's always telling you, hey, you should go give her your card.
I'm actually not a great marketer. Actually, he writes most of my marketing posts because I'm not very good at typing. I'm not good at writing. And that's because I chose to not finish college, and I chose to go to setup school, and I chose to hate English. And so I choose not to read a lot of books. And so he chooses to do all those things. So he has more success than me in that. So I'm okay with my weakness, and I ask help from someone who has a strength that I don't have. And he actually writes most of my marketing posts, so I don't know why he said that. But you're sweet.
Oh, I meant in-person marketing.
Oh, I can talk. He cannot. He has to have notes. It's so weird. So weird.
I can talk if it's something I like, something super nerdy, but I digress.
Another thing that you need to be doing for this is what we're doing for our business every day. I'm telling you that if you want that, if you see Robin and Benj and you think I can get there or I want to get there, and we're not on this pedestal, guys. This is a lot of inventory, but it's a lot of inventory that we invested in, and we have loans on. Like we're not perfect in things, right? But we do know that this is bringing in an income that is allowing us to support our family and more, and it's a business that has turned around so quickly that this has been paid off so much quicker and is getting paid off so much quicker than I could have ever imagined in any other business. So when we say you see us and if you want that, it doesn't mean like, hey, we're up here. That's not what that means. Please don't take it like that. What I mean is I'm giving you real examples about what we do and how we take our business seriously every single day. Second thing that you can, or another, it's not the second, it's like the 10th thing you can do every single day is you have got to dress up for work. I have made a very small amount of income in the last 6 days because I would not shower until like 5 p.m. And I have made him do my live sales the last 2 days. And I just took time off. I was with my family and I was kind of overwhelmed with that. And I wasn't really overwhelmed. We were just busy. And so I can't expect to have that success because I wasn't getting up and showing up and dressing up, right? I guess it's get up, dress up, and show up, right? And you guys know I wasn't very active in the team page in this last week. And that's because I wasn't dressing up for work. I wasn't getting ready for work. I wasn't camera ready to turn the camera on and have an official training because I was being lazy. And because of that laziness, I had a great relaxing time with my family. But I also didn't bring in the income that I normally do. And I wasn't there as a fantastic support for you guys like normal. Well, a trying support, right? Whatever. I mean, I'm not always, I don't know if it's fantastic, but I try. And so you got to be consistent with that and give yourself days off, give yourself times where you could be lazy. Like I just getting us super sick and I was cuddling him for a really long time this morning and I gave myself that time and I knew that I wouldn't start actually working until about noon because I wanted to be with him. And then last night I could not do the live cell because my anxiety was high and I just had to be with Gideon. And so he did it. So I knew my weaknesses and I asked for help. And if you don't have that help, then it's okay to just postpone. If you say you're starting at 7 for something and something happens and you can't, just be real and just say, hey guys, my kids need me. I'm going to be back on tomorrow. But you can't expect to have that success from not being consistent. So if you're going to skip a bunch of days and then you go live, you can't expect to make up for all those skipped days because you're going to lose that momentum that you had built up before. So online sales can be kind of a tricky, almost like black hole issue because you have to stay so consistent. And the second you stop, that momentum will fall. And it can be built back up very easily. That's the whole point of it. But it takes time to build it back up. Anything you want to say on that?
No.
Okay.
No, that's good.
I'll just let you interject and I won't keep looking over at you. because I just keep talking. But you got to do that every single day. And this is a challenge. Do those things every day for 90 days. And then I want to hear how it's affected your business. What did we talk about? We talk about marketing yourself daily with, you have got to reach out to your local community. And that's another, we'll go more in detail about that as to why that is so important for your business. Making sure your customers know why you're doing this. And a lot of you, I see most of you telling your customers, you're already doing it. Okay, letting them know your style, letting them know how you love to style your own inventory, outfits of the day, live sale feeds, live feeds with anything you want to say because of LuLaRoe posts, and then actually getting up, dress up, and show up and treat your business like a business. Okay, and those are things that will give you the confidence. You may not, maybe the income doesn't come immediately, but the confidence comes immediately. And what happens when you're confident? You start to you start to hold yourself to a higher level. You start to treat people kinder, and you actually start to get really creative on things to do with your business because you're really confident about yourself, and you know that you might be putting on this idea like, okay, I look like I might have it together. I don't actually have it completely together, but I look like it, so I'm just going to pretend and hope that, something great comes along, and I'm going to continue to be out there and meet new people. And you finally meet that one person that becomes one of your best hostesses because you got up and you showed up and you never walked out of the house without business cards. So it's important that you always do those things in order to build that full-time success. Okay. Do you want to talk about this since I'm so bad at this?
Well, I mean, when
super yellow.
You went out and handed out business cards to all those local businesses, that's a good way for us as retailers, as business owners, to get out and let people know who we are and we're here, like what we offer. Oh,
like no good.
Oh. If you close that and then turn the lights on, then it works better, because then we can control how bright the sun is. I don't know where I was July 14th, 1995. Okay, so sorry, that was an interrogation camera. So the getting out and getting to know your community is extremely important.
And the super light on your face.
When you shine it at the wall, it bounces.
Sorry. You're still super yellow.
And it makes it
just keep going.
A little bit nicer if you have it coming in from both sides.
Don't be afraid to do this on live sales, man. I do it every single time.
Boom.
It's your blue shirt.
Boom.
Okay, there you go.
I love the lighting. I really do. So the
really orange. Go ahead. So local community for your in-person support.
So I always make it a point to try and stand out when I am meeting strangers. And I think that has helped in some small way for us to be able to reach out to people. It gives me more confidence to know that even if this person doesn't join our group, they are going to remember something from this exchange. So I will always greet people. If they have a name tag, I will say their name, and often get a more curious look like, how does this person know my name? It's written on your shirt. It's right there. But just little things like that really help to get a person more comfortable, or just to like shake them, because everybody who goes to a 9-to-5 job gets into a lull, and they have just these hours that go by and they're just like kind of doing the same thing over and over again. So anything that you can do to stand out from the rest of the crowd is going to shake that person, and they'll be like instantly aware of what's going on, and have just that moment where you are getting all of their attention. And when you have that, make sure that you are able to say something about LuLaRoe. Last night I went somewhere with Dylan.
2 nights ago, you went to In-N-Out.
2 nights ago. and we were there, and we were talking to the lady in the drive-thru. And then when I showed up at the window, she's like, "All right, the total will be whatever it is." And I said, "Oh, hello." She's like, "You're the voice." So if you have a thing, make sure that you're going to do something that is gonna make that person's either their day, or at least just give them something to think about later on. Because if you have that in kind of engagement, and then the next thing is, here's a card, they're going to be more likely to be like, "Oh, I will actually probably look at this later, because when I look back on my day and random things that happen to me then I'm going to be thinking, oh, there was that weird guy in the drive-thru, or there was that cute girl at the checkout stand wearing such a pretty skirt."
Did you give her a business card at In-N-Out?
I don't remember.
You didn't. So that's a bad example.
Bad example, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to drive back there. I'm going to find Cindy, not you, Cindy, but the other Cindy at the In-N-Out, and I'm going to give it to her.
So the reason why this is the second thing that we want to talk about is these in-person connections, and real life goals or real tangible goals is to continue to make yourself known in your community. And if you are not doing that, you can still find success. It is just so much harder online to scratch your way into the online, to stand out to your friends in the online community who are now, I mean, you guys, what's just happened with LuLaRoe is happening with LipSense right now. I got added to like 10 groups in the last week. And I'm going to always shop from the person that I bought from first, because she's got the same product. It's very different than LuLaRoe, right? But that's who I shop from. That's who I've always supported. Unless like my mom joins or like my best friend joins, then of course, I'll support that. But the thing is that we're kind of caught in the sea of like Facebook groups, right? I mean, really, LuLaRoe was the first business to really turn Facebook groups into an actual business. Right before us, Unique was doing the events, and they were actually doing their parties. Like they actually were live for like an hour, or they weren't live. They were posting consistently for an hour, and it was like their party was open, right? And so we kind of created this business side. Maybe there's other businesses, but this is the one I've seen the most of, maybe because I'm involved in it. But it's a lot harder to stand out there than it is in your own community, because you don't have to be weird. You don't have to do weird stuff. When I'm in person, I am not super weird. People come over to like shop and they are like, "Wow, you're really different." And I'm like, "Yeah, because I'm not putting on a show. Like now you see the normal me." Like
my weirdness is who I am.
And so he's, but I can make someone smile, and I can notice someone's hair, or I'm really good at giving compliments. So if I can give them a compliment that stops them in their tracks, and sometimes it turns into an opportunity where I can give my card, and sometimes it's just to lift their spirits and lift my spirits. But that's important to me. And so that's what I focus on. And it's very easy for me to turn that into like, you would love my clothes. Here's my card. And that's how I can turn that. But more importantly than just random people is to get involved with local teams, local groups. That's why this fundraiser option is such an amazing option. Like, get involved with the local soccer teams and the local softball teams. There are so many ideas that you can do out there that there really is no excuse to run out of an idea. No, we're kind of done with it, okay? Look at your tired red eyes.
One thing that has stood out to me was when we were going and reaching out to everybody, because we wanted to book a ton of pop-ups in July and August so that we could not take a huge hit from being going to California for my sister's wedding. There was more than one that I heard talking to Robin, and when Robin was talking about booking the pop-up or whatever, the lady said, "Oh, I want to just do it just because I love you. I don't really care if there's like an incentive." Like, I heard someone vocally say that to you. And
When did they say that?
when you said, and for every 10 items you'll get it, and then she replied with, oh, well, it doesn't, I mean, thank you, but I'm just doing it because I want to support you because I love you. And that was something that I thought was
very sweet. Yeah.
Very sweet. And that's something that you get with your local community. That's not something that you find online unless you have built that online community and following.
Now, I've marketed myself online and in person, and that's why the first bullet point is market, market, market. I pay Facebook to market my page. I pay, with the local community. I get out and I give my card. You guys heard my story where I gave, what did I give? 15 free pairs of leggings and an Irma to the dentist's office. I've seen none of that come back yet. But I really made their day, and I'm going to take my kids for a dental appointment in a couple months, and I'm going to remind them that none of them came and shopped, and then they're going to hopefully come shop. But made my day, and it made their day. But sometimes every now and then that gets to come back, and from the smart marketing that you're doing through getting up, showing up, sharing your why, sharing your style, people have connections, and they like to connect to you, and then they feel comfortable to start coming over. People are like sneak peeking my house through my lives. And I'm not kidding. That's what's happening. True. They're sneak peeking my house, sneak peeking who I am. And then they're coming over to my weekly open houses and they're saying, I've been watching you and I'm so excited to finally be here. And they would not have come had they not already felt comfortable and attached to me in some way through my live sales. And so there is such a business building block there with marketing yourself smart and making sure that you are upholding the brand that you want to uphold and how basically being you so that you don't have to be anyone else or compete with anyone else. You are being you. So when those people come over and meet you, it's fantastic. And even though I'm not as hyper as I am in lives, they still love me and they still say like, of course I can't imagine how you stay hyper. They're always super understanding and I'm grateful for that. But this is what has been the two biggest things that have helped us with our success and constantly rebuilding our business as it changes. And when online falters, like fails and doesn't bring in as much income, we have that in-person success. When my in-person people are sick of pop-ups, I have that online success so they can go back and forth. It's never 50-50. It's never 100-100. It's always like 20% here, 80% here. Or 10% here, 90% here.
We just take it what we can get.
Yeah, and that way we're prepared for whatever the business changes to. So the third thing you can do is always have an open house at your house every single week. That has been huge for us being back here in San Antonio. I've had people not show up. I've had one person show up. I've had 15, 20 people show up. I always give them the opportunity. And that way when people are shopping, when they're continuing or when they're seeing us in the live, I'm continuing to remind them we have an open house this Saturday. So come on by. I'm marketing myself on Facebook. I'm marketing myself in person. I am doing my live sales every day, sharing because of LuLaRoe, sharing my why. I'm reaching out to my local community and I'm giving them an opportunity to meet me in person and not just live because there are a lot of consultants that don't give you that opportunity. And so when they are attached to you, they want to come meet you, and when you give them that opportunity, they will. I had customers stay 2 hours after my pop-up 2 weeks ago, and it was this group of 5 customers. They didn't know each other, but then they became like the best of friends. They didn't leave my house till like 11. I was so tired, but it was fantastic to have that. And though all of them, every single one of them were either from my church that I met through my church, or people that found me because I showed up somewhere in their Facebook feed because I was marketing Facebook. I was marketing my page on Facebook. And they watched me on live, and then they felt comfortable coming over to my house. You've got to do those. You have to have those in-person connections. The next thing, and we're always drilling that, but that is so important. You have to have hostesses. Hostesses run your business. They are going to continue. You can do in-person open houses, but the fourth thing is you have got to do hostesses outside of your house. You need them in order to gain long-term support. You got to get them in person and or online weekly. Gift them a lot and love on them a lot. It is important to hostess prep them, not too much and not too little. It's important to continue to practice, to allow yourself to grow, have growing pains, and learn what's a good hostess prep and what's not, what's a great party and what's not. And then when your hostesses are fantastic, you give them another date. Hey, your party was so great, you're going to have an even better one. Let's book it in 3 months. Let's book another one. Or have you ever thought about being a consultant? Because, oh my gosh, you would be amazing at this. Guess who finally opened the door for them to ask questions? that is probably everyone's biggest hurdle, is getting hostesses. I think if I wrote on the page, what do you need training on the most? I think getting hostesses would be the number one training. But I don't think that I think there's enough training out there on getting hostesses. I think the biggest hurdle is getting over the fear that we know is holding us back from getting those hostesses. The fear that we are setting in place that is stopping us from meeting more people that might become great hosts for us. Sometimes we rely on those that are in our inner circle and they don't actually support us as much as we wanted, or they did and nothing big came of it. And so we're kind of now have this choice. Do I cross this hurdle and get uncomfortable and hopefully meet new people that will become hostesses, hopefully? Or am I going to not do that and then accept that that's not a success that I'll have, and I will push hard with online? You know, you can build your business how you want to build it. But being smart with it will create that long-term success.
I think physically, like having a goal is going to help drive you towards knowing that you need to book more hostesses or you need to get out in your community more. If you know what your goals are for like monetarily or for items, like that's something that if you set that, you're going to know, I need to make this goal for this reason. And in order for me to do that, I'm going to make these sub goals to reach this big goal. So if we have a goal to cruise qualify every month, we know why we need to do that is so we can pay our bills and we can keep reinvesting our inventory. But we also know that that is a number that we need to meet. So in order to do that, this week we need to start doing this so that we can see fruits of our labors on this week. We can have this going. And that I think is a good way to ensure that you know what you need to be focusing on by setting those goals.
Well, and that's kind of our fifth point, is make that goal. And honestly, I would say my biggest piece of advice is making that goal in the beginning of the month or the beginning of the 90-day period. And realizing, like, we just sat down in the beginning of July and I said, look, we have basically 12 working days in July. We take Sundays off and we took 2 days off for the holiday. And then we leave for vacation for 2 weeks. So we have half the amount of time we had last month to hopefully make what we need to make to pay our bills, plus pay the taxes that we need to pay, plus get to California and have a great time in California and be able to actually vacation with the kids. And so we had to, it wasn't just, okay, we have to sell this many items a day. We did do that. We figured that out. But I also said, look, if I look at last month, it's just like budgeting. I look at last month and I say, okay, we only did online sales last month and we had 3 successful open houses at our house. So if we brought in this amount in 12 days last month, yeah, you can go grab him. He's so sick. He just woke up. Then I need to do something more in 12 days that I wasn't doing before. It's just like budgeting, okay? If you look at your last month and you realize what you were doing wasn't enough or was too much, then you cut back or you add on. And so I said, we have got to have in-person pop-ups because I know that my online will only bring in this much. So that you make that game plan and you make it serious and you actually follow through with it. And so we got serious and I didn't stop until I booked enough that I feel like will probably help us to reach that success. I don't know if we're going to hit it. If we don't hit it, we'll be okay. We will survive somehow with, I don't know, but I feel that when you make the plan and you put the work in, somehow it seems to work out, whether we just don't invest as much into our inventory and we have to use it all for our income. That might happen. If we only make $6,000, that's what's going to happen. So it just depends on where we are, and you have to be fluid with it. This is not like a very strict business plan that will always give you this success and this success and this success. It works because you make it work and you decide what you're going to do with it day by day, but also making sure you have this big picture goal and that you're putting those small sub goals in mind to be able to reach that big goal, right? So that's huge for your business, and that's huge for revamping, and that's huge for looking back and seeing what's happened here. What do I need to do different, or what am I doing it all right and I'm just not getting the right outcome that should come? Then it's time to reach out for help. then it's time to be like, okay, I have no idea what I'm missing out on. Because, and I may not, I'm teaching you everything I know. So I might say, you know what, let's have a chat. Let's take you up to Alexandra. Let's see what kind of advice she has. Let's see what kind of advice Ronnie has. Let's see what kind of advice, you know, anyone else has for you, because you guys know, and you hear it from me all the time, this is what's worked for me. So this is the only way I know how to teach. And so I am always willing to help you to get the help that you need if we need to talk to anyone else. The last thing I want to make sure you guys know is this is always about you. This is your business. You've got to make it you. You got to keep it you. Ben heard once from Scott Knighting, and he said, you got to find something that no one else has done and be very creative with it. So in our lives, we had to realize no one has ever really had a husband-wife duo that are consistently on there and having kind of like a comedy show, right? And so that's kind of where we kind of pushed our business towards. Is it always appropriate or very business-minded? Maybe not, but it's us. And it's what makes us a little bit different than someone else. And it's what makes those people who enjoy that attached to us. And those people who want very organized, very business-like lifeies, they're going to get attached to those people who are like that. And that's okay. It's not important to have everyone want to be on our page. It's most important to have those people who really want to support us, to have opportunities to support us, and to know exactly why they are. So I'm going to share this with you guys. You can take a screenshot if you want. I'm going to kind of rearrange because it's not all in the right order. But I've posted it on the team page before. But I want you to see this. Okay, can you guys see this? Awesome. Thanks, Heidi. So this is what I feel is the path to success. I don't know. I think I want to turn it into some sort of graph or some sort of like steps thing, because this is how I feel. I'm very confident in teaching people on how to continue to find the success and keep their business fresh, as if they're continuing to do these things every single day and revamping every 90 days so that they know. And because this business changes so often. One day we didn't have Disney and one day we did. It is just so changing so often that we've got to stay fresh. We've got to stay on top of it. And if we're not in our followers' eyes, if we're not the consultant that stays on top of it, that knows what's fresh, that tries to get what's fresh, it doesn't matter if you get it. It's the fact that you even know that it's there and that you're trying shows that you are an active consultant to your customers, and they want to be a part of your group because they know that you will know what's new and what's happening. And they'll know, oh, Cindy always knows. She always shares. Or, oh, Heidi always shares. So I'm going to go hop on her page and see if this Disney thing if this is actually a hoax or if it's real. You know, and so even if you don't get it or not, it's the fact that you are available and that you've made yourself an open door, then they will have that trust there for you. And I think that has been so helpful for us in keeping our business fresh. And I feel just recently we've had to change things constantly, but just recently we've had to change going back to more in person, because we did so much in person in the beginning that we kind of felt, well, we've kind of earned to like just be online, right? You know, that's kind of the mentality people get into, this entitlement of, well, I've done all my in-person, so now I can just do online, but that's not the case. I think in person is people are getting exhausted with stuff not fitting correctly because it has different prints and different fabrics and different stretches. I think people are getting frustrated with the colors not looking exact. I think people are getting frustrated with groups being very quick, very like where they have 20 sold comments on one item and they never know if they get it or not. So people are enjoying that in-home atmosphere a little bit more now. And that's what I'm seeing kind of across the board, at least in my area, and in several of my colleagues' area, is that is kind of what's happening. People are really missing that in-home connection. And so those are becoming more popular again, while online album sales are just total flops right now, thanks to Facebook algorithms. And I think also just the cycle of people shopping online. And it's a lot of hunting right now. And so we've just recently had to change that. And then just last December, I was not getting any in-home pop-ups, and I shared that with you guys. And so I told you I was taking the challenge to go live every day, because if I can't connect with other people, I'm going to make sure that I connect with those people that I've already connected with. Like, I want to make sure that they have every opportunity to see me and click on me and shop with me every day, because I had connected with them at some point. And so that was when I went live every day. And I shared with you guys several months ago how my sales changed from that. So we're always changing, and we're always trying to improve and keeping our business fresh, and it will change again. And it's not very complicated how it changes, but these are the core things that you can do every single day to make sure that your following is consistent with you and that your sales stay consistent, so that when things change and you have to be fluid with it, you have a solid foundation for your business, that you can change something little or something major and your business will be okay with it. All right, any questions or anything that you guys have or any thoughts? Well, you guys are awesome. Have a great day. Again, so sorry about the time of all of this, but I hope this was helpful. I'm going to work on this today and get this a little bit more organized. I hope you took a screenshot or something, but it is in the team page. And if you feel there's something that you were just wishing that Robin would do a training on, or I could ask someone else to do a training, never be afraid to reach out to me and say, hey, Robin, I really want to focus on this, or I really, I didn't quite learn enough with this training. Can you maybe ask someone else to come in and teach? I love doing that, and I love helping you guys in any way that I can. But I also know that I'm limited, and I am more than willing to ask people and get people to come teach, or asking you guys if you feel there's something that you have that you want to teach the team. Please let me know, because I just wanted to make sure to put that out there. I want to make sure that I say that every training. But I love you guys so much, and I really, really, really do. And I really hope that you guys have a great day. And I really hope that something in this that you can put towards your business, and that if you stay consistent with it, I really hope that it will. I mean, it's helped me. So my experience has been that it will give success. So I just hope that you're able to take this and really, really make some kind of success for yourself. So have a great day, guys. I said that like 4 times, but I really do hope you have a good day.